Hey y'all guys, it's the Tab and Dillard podcast. We into season 7s now. What in the world do you know about that? The season 7 of the Tab and Dillard podcast. What that means now is the amount of a season 7 that's existed so far in the history of the podcast is like 15 seconds. Like 15, 20 seconds into that. Like I ain't crunched the numbers. I ain't done all scientifical on it, but I think that's about how much time we've been into season 7s. Now it's been longer, because I've been talking a little more. But here we are, season 7s, episodes 1s. We wrapped up season 6 just last week of the Tab and Dillard podcast. That was a Q&A. Y'all sent in the questions. I gave them answers. I hope that was helpful, getting them answers in like that away. And you can go back and listen to that. In fact, if you're new to the podcast, you can pause it right here. We'll be here waiting on you. You can go catch up. I mean, like I'm telling you right now, there's 6 more seasons before this one. And so one thing that didn't end, one season that has not ended since the last season of the podcast ended, which was last week, is the softball season. You know, I'm on Team Burger Shed. And I could say, hey, I'm going to put a link to the new Team Burger Shed 2023 shirt with the roster on the back. But what I'm going to do today, instead of all that, is put a link to all my shirts. It's one link. It'll take you there in case you got to do some Father's Day shopping. Because if you listen to this on June the 13th, 5 days before Father's Day, you want to get them orders in. If you're getting a shirt for Dad or for yourself, you can just buy it for yourself. They ain't specifically Father's Day shirts, but there's some good ones Dad might like. The other thing I have a link for is the personal video greetings. I've been doing a lot of them lately. Did them last month for the Mother's Day, and now orders have been coming in for the Father's Day, and you'll see that. So I wouldn't procrastinate too long on that, but the thing about that is if you need 24-hour delivery, there is a link for that. You know, them video greetings on the Weber site. So you'll see that. So in the show notes today of the Tab and Dillard podcast, I'm Tab and Dillard, by the way, and a podcast is like a radio show, by the way. So that's that. You will see in them show notes a link to the shirts. And I got hats and tank tops and hoodies back. Truth be told, right now I'm wearing a Cannonball tank top. Cannonball champ at the City Pooh. That's me. And also there's a Pooh hats and hoodies and that kind of thing. A little hot for hoodies these days, but maybe you want to get one once it do get cold. You ready? I don't know, but that link will be there, and then the link to the personal greetings will be there. And of course, what has been moving off the shelves is the Tavin's bag of bacon, and maybe your dad wants some of that. It's a beautiful bag of bacon. It's a really good flavor. I've been eating it. Had some today, truth be told. Had some of the popcorn bacon. At the bottom of every bag is chopped up pieces of bacon. You know, it's like popcorn chicken, but it ain't chicken, y'all guys. It's popcorn bacon. Tavin's bacon bag. Link in the show notes today. What else you gonna put in them show notes today? I think the only other things I'm putting are the usual things. My phone number, 501-322-6249. That's 501-322-6249. Shoot me a text. I try to text y'all back. And then email, business inquiries, live shows, all that stuff. Still working on some live shows for late July. I should have an update on that soon. But my email's tabanddillard@gmail.com. That's how that go. So that's where we at. And I do have one softball game to catch y'all up on here in a little while, because we played one game since the last time we talked. Like I said, a weeks ago, before, you know, when the Q&A was airing, we didn't have a game and we was off that week. But now this week we played since the Q&A, and so I got an update on that game for the Team Burger Shed. But I went down to the City Pooh, speaking of Cannonball, and I had my watermelon helmet on. I mean, it's full on summer now, y'all guys. So I got my watermelon helmet on. I'm taking my bike down to the City Pooh. Coach Hicks, he had lifeguard at the City Pooh. Now, it's no mystery to any of y'all listening that he also run Thunder Punch. That's the boxing gym in town that he run. But he's the head lifeguard. I mean, when I was in high school, he was a PE teacher, and he also ran the Long John Silver's in the county next over. So the guy's been a businessman since I knowed him, and he know how to make things happen. He's a fella in charge, and he always got a whistle. Coach Hicks always got a whistle on him. And boy, he had to use it this week at the Pooh already. So we get there in the morning, everybody's ready to go. And I don't know what's going on, but the fellas, JT Whitlow, Morton Wydell, Cody Mantell was down there. I mean, we're ready to go. We're ready to get some Pooh time in. So we went down there, and they were going to open it up, and you know, Coach Hicks is like, hey, we got some roos here. And Mabel Childress done showed up, and she's like, we ain't babies, just let us in, like that away. Well, you don't holler at Coach Hicks and try to tell him what the rules should be when he's enforcing the rules that is be. And so what happened to Mabel is before her day at the pool even got started, she got put on timeout, and Coach Hicks blowed the whistle on her. Tweet, Mabel, you're going to have to sit for a little bit, and you might want to stop running that mouth of yours, kind of thing. Boy, gave her a suggestion, gave her a strong suggestion. That's Brody's granny, Mabel Childers. So we get in there to the pool, and now there's talk, people are like, hey, why don't we do a little cannonball contest? And boy, you ain't got to tell me twice. So me, Mort, JT, Cody, we was all ready to go. Cody, he's in a good mood right now. Like, he came in and lowered mini truck, pulled it into the parking lot to the city pool. He got a sleeveless Guns N' Roses t-shirt on. He had some cut-off jean shorts and just some flip-flops on. But he happy, and Cody can be a pretty mean guy, but it may be because he got a little baby on the way. Lindy Ray Mantell, that's his wife. She worked down at Early Bird Gets the Perm. She pregnant. She got a baby due, I guess it's September, maybe October. I don't know. I didn't do the counting on it. I ain't sure. But I don't make it a habit to ask gals, hey, you pregnant? Unless they holding a baby. And then I say, hey, you must have been pregnant, kind of thing. But I learned a long time ago, you don't say, hey, when you do, kind of thing. Even though I know she is due, I just got in the habit of not asking because, they announced to folks we having a baby. So that's why, she's growing the way she is. But they got it, a little gal already, Daphne. So Daphne's excited about being big sister. So Cody, anyhow, he in a good mood. He happy, getting in there. He's pulling off that Guns N' Roses sleeveless shirt. I don't know if I told you it didn't have no sleeves on it, but it don't. And he getting ready to go to that diving board. And Cody, got the energy and everything. Thing about it is, now people could be getting in the shallow end of the pool, but it basically just the crowd start gathering. If you can picture it in your mind's eye, the crowd, the kiddos, the mamas, Mabel Childers, she couldn't get in the pool anyway. She's on timeout. But people start crowding around and saying, hey, what's going on at the diving board? Well, what was going on at the diving board was an unofficial cannonball contest. So I was ready to go. Cody went first. And Cody, an athlete. He ain't as good an athlete as Rusty Tidwell. I don't know anybody that is. But, he's a little stronger than me, a little bit taller than me. And he got some good form. You got to give credit where credit is due. So he get on that diving board and he get up there, and I tell you, he got the form. Like, first of all, he launched them haunches. The haunch launch was tremendous. I put it in the category tremendous. Now, the thing is about, if you know anything about diving boards, now tell you right now, I didn't go to school for diving boards, but I've been around them enough. I probably could teach a school class on diving boards. Now, they made to give a little bit. It ain't like you jumping off your buddy's deck that got above ground pool and it's just a wooden deck and it don't give none. You just jumping because you need somewhere to jump off of, but that ain't going to give none. And if it do give, that probably mean termites in that thing. You might fall through the bottom of that, and boy, you landing in a world of hurt. But the diving board got springs on it. And what them springs do is they allow you to, it bend down a little bit and then it bounce back up a little bit. You've seen them diving boards. So Cody get on that and he sprang. And you think, boy, he going to spring for a while. He sprang to about an 11 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know how to count. I ain't got to do that for you. But he got to 11s. And he jumped up there so high, and he grabbed that anklage, and boy, he looking good. He got the form, he got the haunch launch, he got the distance. But what happened right at the end, before he hit that water, boy, them anklage, he just let go. He kind of scattered. So instead of like a cannonball, he like scatter shot. It's like boom, boom, boom. Oh, elbow hit the water, other hand hit the water, foot hit the water. Instead of like one solid cannonball. It's a cannonball contest, y'all guys. It ain't just see if you can hit the water kind of thing. Because all you got to do by hit the water is just fall in. You don't need no skill to do that. Gravity take over and do that for you. So Cody did good. It's a good start. He's waked up, boy. He's excited. He's ready to go. But that was his cannonball. Well, then Mort Dwidell get up there. Now, Mort got little stubby legs. He got a long torso, carries some girth with him. His wife run Uptown Gal in town. That's a women's clothing store. They got creased breeches. They carry just about year-round now. They got them creased breeches. Meemaw got interested in them a little bit. But Meemaw, she wear muumuus year-round. She got fall muumuus, winter muumuus, spring muumuus, summer muumuus. Them's her favorites. But she did get interested in them creased breeches a little bit. They got yoga pants, too. Meemaw said, I do not do yoga pants. I hate yogurt. I don't like milk. And I was like, well, I know she liked dairy, but I didn't want to get into her on why that doesn't matter if you don't want yoga pants. But she do like them Crazy britches. Who cares? I'm just telling you that Mort's wife run that store, Donna, Glenda. I don't know. She go by Donna sometimes. She go by Glenda. She named after her mama. Her middle name's her granny. Depending on who she ain't mad at, she go by that name that day. So I just call her Donna, Glenda, Glenda, Donna. I don't know. But Mort got up there. He didn't bring no kiddos or his wife. He just brought himself to the pool, and he's ready to go. He was in he had swim trunks. Like, he knowed he was getting in the water. I don't know if Cody just drove by and saw the city pool opened or what happened with him, but Mort get up there, and Mort carry girth. And, I mean, if you got some heft to you, that make a good splash. Now, I don't know if I need to tell you this, but it ain't all about the splash with the Cannonball, okay? There's the haunch launch. You need some distance. That do help, because the distance gives you more time to get up in the air like it's away. You go so high in the air, and then you getting your form down. You got more time for people to see your form when you up in the air longer. Now, if your form is bad, maybe you don't want to be up in the air too long. But here's the deal with Mort. He ain't got great form. He can barely get to them ankles. To get to, you supposed to really pull your ankles towards your body. And put them knees under your chin, like you getting your picture taken at JCPenney's. You know how you put your little fist under your chin? That's where your knee's supposed to be, basically, pretty much on a Cannonball. And there ain't a way that Mort, his tummy won't let his knees come up that far. So Mort know it, everybody know it, that if we going for biggest splash, yeah, he going to win. But form, he ain't got. Now, he a party cannonballer. Mort's the kind of guy that if you ain't wet at the party and you within 50 yards of that pool, you going to get wet, because his splash says, hey, Pickle Boone, guess who's here? Kind of thing like that away. So Mort get up there, and them little kids and their mammies, everybody's ready for the pool. That's the good news, but nobody wet yet, other than Cody Mantell, who got in the pool. And Coach Hicks was up to his anklage in just the shallow end of that first step, just kind of keep an eye on things. Well, Mort get up there, and he just do one big jump. He ain't doing that 11 count or nothing like that like Cody Mantell did. And he get up there, and boy, the splash, everybody wet. Everybody wet. Mabel yelled, and Coach Hicks just blew the whistle at her. He said, you in timeout. Like, ain't even letting her yell. Like, boy, he's really shutting her down quick. I guess he know you got to nip it in the bud before it get out of control with Mabel. And I know that. I think we all kind of know that. So that's Mort's cannonball. Well, JT Whitlow's next. And I'll tell you right now, JT's a good cannonballer. I mean, he got the form. He stretched his haunches. He knew how to get that thing launched. All of them things. Think about JT, he got long toes. Now, you think that would help you, like, grip the diving board? I don't know. Now, maybe I'm wrong. This is just me putting it together. I ain't a medical toeologist or nothing like that. But he was on that board, and them big old long toes, them fingery toes, like, grabbed the thing, but he lost his balance. So I think it's part of it. I don't know if long toes give you better balance. You think they would, but all I know is he got up on that diving board, and, you give him a fair shot. And no tripping, he gonna put together a good cannonball. But boy, he falled off the side of that diving board. And to start it, it was like, hey, everybody gets one turn. Cody go, then he do his thing. Mort Waddell go, and then JT go, and he falled over. He didn't really get a strong cannonball, but I mean, that was it. And it was all by applause. The crowd was cheering. People cheered for JT anyway, because we like him, but he didn't win, the cannonball thing. He didn't really get one together. Well, then, who does that leave next in the contest? Oh, yeah, it was me. So I get up there, and I'm barefoot, cut off jean shorts. Them's my favorite kind of water trunks, but I do have swim trunks, too. I had my Cannonball tank top on that I'm wearing now, but I took it off, for the Cannonball so that I had something dry, to put on after. I have my hat on. I just put it on backwards. I just turn it around backwards. It don't usually stay on with the Cannonball, but I mean, you look good going into the water. That's what I'm saying. So I get up on that diving board, and boy, you just get excited about the new season of cannonballing. You feel that diving board underneath your feet. Feels kind of like sandpaper. It's rough. It's supposed to be kind of rough so you don't lose your grip. It can't be like slick like tile or marble floor. I mean, they just be having head injuries all day, and people hitting their elbows and their knee bows and everything else, and just like sliding into the pool like bloody and bruised, So the diving board, can you imagine JT Whitlow on a marble diving board? Boy, he couldn't even keep it upright on this one. So I get up there and I feel that sandpapery, texture of the diving board underneath my feet. And I get up there and I'm like, well, I ain't doing an 11 count. And I got to stay in my lane. All of a sudden I hear an air horn. Well, I don't know where she got it, how she brought it in, but Mabel Childers, she on the air horn, like that away. Coach Hicks shut her down, blowed the whistle on her, said, you can't do it. Now, for me, here's the deal. There's a lot of things in life I can't tune out. My brother Brett, he come in the trailer park and he's driving a remote control car around, when people are trying to sleep or just interrupting people. There's people in the burger shed when Mort Dwight come in and he want to let people know that he got milk trait behagony and he can't have no milk. It's hard to tune all that out. But when I'm on the diving board, it don't matter none, y'all guys. I mean, Mabel Childers can be over there as ornery as ever. Blowing the air horn is all in the distance to me because it's just me and that diving board and the water. I mean, how you think I got that Cannonball pulled off, when that time Mabel hit me in the elbow with a can of Easy Cheese? The form was great. I mean, I came up with a sore elbow and Easy Cheese on my arm, and then like a little message in a bottle was that whole can of Easy Cheese just floating there in the deep end with me. And Coach Hicks had to blow the whistle that day. They had to empty the poo. I mean, I don't know all the protocol for Easy Cheese in the poo, but it's similar to, other stuff being in the poo, if you know what I mean. So they had to clear it out. So there I am on that diving board just thinking, boy, it's time. You here, you ain't got to make a big deal out of this. Just tune out any noises. Get you a diving board in the water. It's time to go. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Few little bounces, I'm up in the air. Haunches launched so hard. I was so thankful for all them frittlers I ate in the off season. I was powered by the apple frittler, standard glazed twist. Had a chocolate milk that morning. And I don't know. I thought, boy, I hope I don't hit my head on a cloud kind of thing. Luckily, it was a clear day. But I'm way up there so high, like this away. And boy, everything just got quiet. Everything got quiet. You get up that high, it's just peaceful. I pulled the anklage up. Chin under my knee, J.C. Penney, cheese, bink, bink, pickle boon. And I'm up there, and I'm holding them knees. I look over, bink, bink, to the folks looking on shore. I hit that water, hat come off. I come up, I see the hat, back on my head. I turn it around front ways instead of back ways now, and there's just thunderous applause. Thunderous applause. I'm telling you, Mort Dwight got Mabel's air horn. Now he's hitting it. I do hear that. And I'm like, oh, thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Now, the crowd applauded for everybody. It was a good, it was a home crowd for everybody there kind of thing. But bottom line is that I won. I won the informal cannonball contest. And at that moment, Coach Hicks is like, pool's open. He blowed the whistle. Everybody in the pool. Mabel tried to get out of a little chair. He goes, nope, not you. She had a double timeout because she brought in that air horn later. Started blowing that thing. So I think Mort emptied that thing out, blowing it. But that's how it started. And then everybody got in the pool and they did their thing. Kids try to imitate you. Kids, they the future. That's next generation. You want to show them how to cannonball. You want them to try to get up there and get their haunches launched and get that anklage grabbed and put them knees under their chin like a J.C. Penney pitcher. I mean, you want them to do that. So I was happy to be able to set an example for them, best I can tell. Then you got Mabel Childers over there setting bad examples. Coach Hicks wouldn't stand for it. So I'm going to tell you, it's a good start to cannonball season. And then I had to go. I put my watermelon helmet back on. I was dried off pretty quick. It's a hot day. Burger shed, lawn mowing. We had our game though this week. We had our next game at the City Fields, but we was playing Bickham's All You Can Eat Catfish Buffet. The Bickham boys, them fellas that play for Bickham's, they big old boys. I mean, Myron a big old boy, Russell Tucker a big old boy, JT pretty big, Mort Dwight big, but not every single player. I mean, Bickham's, they just seem kind of like giants, sideways and tall ways kind of thing. So we was playing them, and it was a tight game. I mean, T-I-G-H-T, like it's tight, but it's also T-I-E-D, tied, like we had the same score going into the fifth inning. It's 3-3. I had stole the base, and so I was on second. I walked and I stowed, but we couldn't seem to get these guys, push more runs across, by third, fourth inning. And then a sharp grounder when we was on defense got hit to Myron Curtis. We had him at shortstop, and he bobbled that thing. It looked like a circus juggler, like the ball's in the air. It's like, oh, what's he going to do now? He hit it with his knee, like he's a soccer player. He knee it over to JT Whitlow, who reached out and grabbed it. We got a guy coming in the second. JT tagged the bag, with his foot, because he holding that ball, and that's how it worked in softball. And then he turned and he throwed it. He right-handed, like he throwed it right-handed, because you can't be a left-handed second baseman. I'm lefty. So I'm usually in the outfield, but I'll pitch sometime. Well, JT released that softball to the first base. Mort Waddell's the first baseman, and he turned to double play. Because the reason how come is, it wasn't because Myron got it over to him quick, because Myron did everything you could do to make it a slow transition over from the juggling to the kneeing until finally him catching it. But the Bickham's fellers, boy, they big boys, and they hit dingers, but they hit a grounder in the infield. It's going to take them a while to lumber down to first base, boy, and that played in our favor. That's what I'm saying. That played in our favor. Myron's little show he put on down at shortstop didn't hurt us none. And we talking about it after the game. So they didn't advance that inning. Still 3-3. Well, we get to the 6th, 7th inning, and I'm on second. And then Mort Waddell, he got walked. He's on first, and Rusty Tidwell come up. And what did Rusty do, Tavin? Rusty Tidwell did what Rusty Tidwell do. He's an athlete. I mean, he got strength. And he hit a dinger, which if you're doing the math, that's a 3-run dinger over the center field wall into them hay bales that Chet Dilroy's junior archers practice against, where they shoot them arrows in there. They don't play on game days no more. You can't have little kids that ain't got experience. They learning, they getting trained, but they ain't good yet. Shooting arrows when there's grown men right across that fence trying to play softball. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. I mean, you think about, hey, can I be a recipe? Because you're going to cook something that's going to taste good. This is a recipe for disaster. It's going to go bad if we put them together. So the junior archers do not junior arch on days when we playing softball in the evening. So them kiddos play there on Saturdays, Now in the summertime, they be there during the day because the school's out. But that's where Rusty Tidwell's ball went, and then a kiddo ran over there, because what happened if you get the home run ball, you run it back to concession stand, you get a free snow cone. For returning the ball. This ain't the major leagues where you keep the ball like a souvenir. No, that ain't happening. Folks will run you down. Now, some folks have taken off with them, but they ain't looked on too kindly, or something happened so bad, like when Cheryl Crubb's doggy, I think it's Jalapeno, they got a hold of one, just about ate it up and slobbered all over it. So we didn't want to touch that one again. But speaking of free snow cones, that little kid that returned Rusty Tidwell's 3-run home run ball wasn't the only one that got free snow cones tonight at the softball field. Oh no. Team Burger Shed at the end of the game, we pushed across 10 runs. And Bickham's all-you-can-eat catfish buffet, they pushed across 7s. I know. So now, Team Burger Shed, with this win, puts us at 5 wins on the season. And we lost 1 times, and we tied 1 times. So that'll tell you that we 5-1-1. And we feeling good. And we looking good. We look sharp in them new Team 2023 Burger Shed shirts. Now, I will tell you that ain't all. We wear the classic one too. Kind of home and away. We decide we got options now. But we playing good ball. And I mean, when you looking good, you feeling good, you playing good, good things happen. And that's what happened this week against Bickham's. But they can say all they want. They can talk all they want. But I look back at my week, and City Pool was a success. Softball field, success. Had a good time with the fellers. I mean, it's going good. Cricket's going to try to get down there and help a little more with the concession stand, I think, this summer. She busy, though. But she like being busy. I mean, she work at the nursing home. She delivering produce to Burger Shed in town and from her daddy's farm. So she busy. But she going to get down there because there's a lot going on. And I thought it was a good night. They didn't run out of no flavors down at the concession stand. Mary Beth Tucker didn't try to bring nothing stupid to the concession stand that going to cause a mess or a fight or nothing like that. Like sometimes she get into some ideas. I mean, I ain't calling Mary Beth stupid. She's smart. She went to school for horses. She worked at the veterinary. But sometimes she get these ideas where even she would say, hey, I don't know what I was thinking. We all get in there. But that's how it's going down so far. Team Burger Shed is on the upswings the way I see it. And the summer's off to a good start. I don't know how your watermelon helmets are coming along, but I got to make another one this week. They last for a little bit, then you put them in the freezer. You can't wear a frozen helmet too long. Sometimes it shrink on you, so it's hard to get on your head. The other thing is, it's like a brain freeze on the outside. Like it'll feel the same as if you ate your ice cream too fast. A frozen watermelon helmet. Trust me, from experience. I know that 100%. Hey, I appreciate y'all guys joining me today, because today was the first episode of season 7 of the Tavin Dillard podcast, and there's ways you can help me. Did you know that? You can rate this podcast wherever you listening at. If there's a place to leave comments, I know there is on the iTunes. I don't know about all the other platforms. You leave a comment about that. I use those comments to help promote the podcast, so other folks that don't listen to it say, oh, somebody else thinks it's good, maybe I'll give it a try. And you can share it. You know, you got a friend, enemy, mild acquaintance, that kind of thing. You could wing it out to them too. So if you could do that today, I know you busy. I know you driving, you working, you riding, you doing yard work, you on a bike trip, you doing all kinds of things, re-roofing a shed. I don't know, but I'll tell you right now, if you take a minute just to rate this and share this and leave me a comment, I appreciate it real much. I mean, a whole bunch. That's a lot. So I appreciate that. And then for the Father's Day, check them show notes. We got shirts. We got personal greetings. I got a bag of bacon. We got my phone number, 501-322-6249. And we got my email, tavindillard@gmail.com. I sure appreciate you. And hey, if you ain't take the air horn to the city pool this week and got put in timeout by Coach Hicks, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tavin Dillard. This is the Tavin Dillard podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.